So LSU needs a lot to go right. They got to execute. But what they can't afford is to go in there too wound up and too tight, or heaven forbid, overwhelmed or intimidated by that environment. Now, I certainly don't think that's going to be the case, not in DV Jr., but maybe the visiting Tigers, just a fun suggestion here. The Bayou Bengals might want to go in there and do something to let the hosts know that the guests are going to make themselves comfortable. That's all. What could that be? I'm not entirely sure. But I can't help but think back to the 2019 LSU Texas game. Y'all not going to claim 2019, are you, Auburn? But remember what happened right before that game. In the middle of Texas's on-campus stadium, LSU defensive end K'Lavon Chaisson, legend, along with some other Tigers, I can't remember who, they were some balls though, calmly walked over to the Longhorn sideline, pre-game, nonchalant, nothing disrespectful, and helped themselves to the Longhorn water bottles. Harmless confrontation ensued, quickly dispersed, but as someone in attendance that day, that awfully hot day, it didn't seem much to me like the LSU Tigers were the ones in the hostile environment after that. They didn't act like they were, didn't play like they were, more importantly. No, I'm not saying LSU needs to go in there at Clemson and drink their water. Not saying it. But the best chance the LSU Tigers could have possibly given themselves to win this game has already passed. Long time ago. It would have been to prepare as if there's no tomorrow starting, this past January. Eat, sleep, and drink this one game for 8 months. Bathe themselves in all things Clemson. Find out just exactly how many crack rocks that mascot sprinkles into his Frosted Flakes every morning. Find out. And you know what? Good on these LSU Tigers, attaboys, because that's exactly what they did. Minus the information on the crack, far as I know. Kelly has driven the point home repeatedly that these players have been preparing to win Game 1 since January. Goes back to the obsession with going 1-0. So they've put everything into this game, everything they've got. Are they going to let Clemson take what they feel is theirs after all this? That would be tragic. Game prediction coming up. Arthur, you think that Clemson Tiger mascot has ever smoked crack with another mascot? While in that costume? I can just imagine him hanging out behind the dumpsters by the stadium after the game with the Wake Forest Demon Deacon smoking crack. Prediction time. I predict the Tigers will win this contest. Yes, that was easy. No, it really is not easy. And before I give my score prediction, here's how I see this enormous Week 1 matchup in Not Death Valley. Defensively, running on LSU between the tackles is going to be the hard knock life for Clemson. Dom McKinley, the Weeks boys, Bernard Gooden. Clemson's best shot at picking up rush yards is going to be through their quarterback. And LSU's secondary will be much improved. And LSU's pass rush will be much improved. And I just can't see them not getting to Klubnik. All this considered, quite often actually, I feel like they'd almost have to try not to. With Gabe Relaford and Patrick Payton. Jack starting defense Pyburn. And Klubnik can run. Yes, he's not an easy out. But LSU remains a step ahead because I hear Blake Baker has a spy. Agent number 7, Harold Perkins, is going to spy Klubnik. Probably. Maybe. I'd rather he stalk and demolish him instead of spy, but seek and destroy, something like that. Spy will work, I guess. But I don't think too many outside the LSU building really know exactly how Blake Baker is going to use Perkins. And I'm curious to find out, not just in this game, but this season. LSU on offense. Clemson's got a new DC, Tom Allen from Penn State. He's a really good one. I'm certain he knows to respect LSU's speed on the outside at receiver. Chris Hilton, Xavion Thomas, the Andersons, Barian Brown, and everybody else on that list. And Nuss's arm, of course. Will be interesting to see how Clemson balances this with defending LSU's running game with Caden Durham, far as numbers in the box. And also how committed LSU is to running the football. But up front, that Clemson D-line, they're committed to body slamming Nussmeier to the ground. And LSU's going to have to slow them down. That pass rush. Quick passes, quick hitches, whatever they can do quickly, just be quick with it. Quick. And LSU's got the weapons in the short passing game to do this. Big receivers, slot receivers, running backs, tight ends. They can go 12 personnel. They can put stress on a defense in a lot of different ways. But the Clemson safeties, who are the biggest question marks on that defense by the admission of their DC, they're still going to have to respect that speed on the outside, no matter what. Unless they just want to stop respecting it. That would make Nussmeier smile. That's how it would start. And I haven't even mentioned the name Trades Green. Feels like I should. But at some point, LSU's going to have to line up and grind out tough yards on the ground. And yes, bad O-line play could make that difficult. It could make this a terrible night altogether for the visitors. Oh, yeah. Things could go bad. That's why this is a hard game to pick. But I think this O-line is going to surprise some people in this game, especially the new tackles, especially Tyree Adams, and then get better and better as the season goes along. And again, return game, Brown, watch for it. So after a long, hard-fought slobber knocker of a college football game, I'm picking the Tigers, who are from the Bayou. Bayou football picks Bayou Bengals. The LSU D is going to force Clemson to kick too many field goals, more than they can afford. LSU Tigers 27, Clemson Crackbaby Tigers 23. LSU fans making the trip to Clemson, avoid this guy at the gas station. For Arthur, the Bayou Party Dog, I'm Ruddy Rutledge. He is a real good boy, and this is some Bayou football.